Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the Managing Director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. This video today is basically an overview of American expats and tax matters pertaining thereto. Essentially, there is nothing that is a given in life other than, as the proverb goes, death and taxes. We all have to deal with it. Unlike nationals from certain other nations, United States citizens are liable for taxes on their worldwide income, and there are various exemptions that provide exemption status with respect to what one needs to pay tax on as far as their worldwide income, but it's still necessary to go ahead and file one's taxes. That's a common misconception about tax matters pertaining to those who live abroad or outside the United States specifically. Yes, you need to file your taxes, even if you make under what is called the FEIE, or the Foreign Earned Income Exemption. For those interested in information about the FEIE, there's another video on this channel that specifically talks about the FEIE. Basically, what I'm trying to say with this video is, yes, the common misconception about for those living abroad is, oh, I don't have to even file taxes. No, that is not correct. You need to file a tax return if you make virtually any amount of money really abroad. There's a certain low-level threshold, but yes, one needs to file their taxes, and in most cases, it's going to be a necessity. Another thing to think about is foreign bank account reporting, aka the FBAR. Again, there's another video on this channel regarding FBARs, but essentially you may have to disclose to the United States Treasury Department the existence of foreign bank accounts that are being utilized that are in the name of an American expat abroad. Another thing to think about, again, you got to file your taxes. In some cases, it's a very simple procedure. Simply filing a 1040 and going ahead and just getting that on file with IRS. In many of the cases involving Americans living abroad, they're not going to be making enough money where they're actually liable for taxes. But to be clear, if you don't file a tax return, then the exemptions that may apply to you otherwise will not apply because the tax return has yet to be filed. Other things to think about with respect to this are things like statute of limitations. If you do not file a tax return, the statute of limitations does not kick in. So if you don't do a filing, even if you make an erroneous filing, again, you don't want to make a maliciously erroneous filing. You can't lie to the government. But let's say you simply did something that you may have inadvertently made a mistake on your tax return or something. If a certain amount of time has gone past, then the statute of limitations kicks in, and that's not going to be a problem for you. But you can't do that if you don't file a tax return. Some other things to think about with respect to taxes for United States citizens abroad. Since January 1 of 2016, Americans who owe the IRS or are in arrears to the IRS for more than 50,000 United States dollars can have their United States passport rescinded. That went on the books in, again, January 1, 2016. As of yet, I personally have not seen anybody who has become subject to these new regulations, but they do exist, and they are something that one will need to think about if one is in arrears to the IRS. So, moving forward, tax matters are going to become especially important in an expatriate context because it can affect your ability to travel or even live abroad at all. So, it's something to definitely be mindful of when living abroad and if you are an American who is living abroad. Some other things to think about are the tax implications of various corporate entities or business endeavors that one is engaged in overseas. I'm not going to get into the specifics of that, but just keep in mind that there are double tax treaties that may benefit an American citizen doing business abroad. Here in Thailand, it may or may not be beneficial depending on the circumstances of the given case. The biggest thing that I'm trying to sort of convey and get the point across with this particular video is that the notion that one does not have to file a tax return simply because they live abroad is pretty well erroneous. You need to file a tax return, as all Americans are subject to taxation on their worldwide income.